Hi everyone, my name's Crystal and I will be completing Create This Book 2. For this front cover, I'm gonna be stamping out some images using this stamp set. It's by Hero Arts and it's called You're Beautiful. So I'm gonna be stamping out these images and then I'm gonna be placing them around here. To stamp them, I'm gonna be using some cardstock. It's just white cardstock. Don't ask me where I got it from, what's it called, because I don't know. It's just what I have. I'll be using alcohol inks to color these in, so I'm gonna be using Memento Tuxedo Black ink. This is a dye ink that works with alcohol markers. I have a Brothers Scan and Cut, so I'm gonna be using that to scan in the images and cut them out. Now for this page here, I really want it to be really colorful. So this one I kind of want it to be a little more dainty. This one I want it to be a pop of color and really fun. So I thought this stamp would be perfect. This is by Trinity Stamps and it's called Sweeter Than. And it's got all these candies. This one's gonna be this fill this empty space, so I'm just gonna put something here. Okay, I found a really good one. This one I got from Tuesday Morning for $1.99, and it has these really pretty landscape images. And so I'm gonna be using this moon evening one. And I'm just gonna put it right in the middle. Let's move on to the next one for now, and then we'll come back to this one because I don't know if I want something that kind of coordinates with this or if I just wanna make it its own thing. We'll come back. So this is Moriah's Tips and Tricks, and I kind of already know that I want it to be a little bit more Halloween themed. Let me see what I have that I can use for that. Okay, I found two stamps. This one I got, I know it goes with a little art pack that I got with like art supplies that I could swatch. I don't even remember, to be quite honest, but I thought of using this down here. So I'm gonna stamp it out. Let me show you. Oh, it got kind of dirty. I think it got wet. I don't know. Let me show you the images. These are from Michaels and they're so cute. I'm so excited to color them and use them on these two pages. Okay, next page is gonna be Create a Fresh Start, beginning date, and my goals for this book, and then these will be the last two, but we still have to go back and find a stamp set for these. Oh, you know what I could do? Okay, I think I'm gonna change the theme for this page and this page because I think I have a better stamp for this. I'll be right back. So I'm gonna use the candy for this page, and then what I'm gonna use for this page instead, I have this stamp set that's really cute. It's this one here. I have the dies, but I don't need them now that I have my die cut machine. This is called Peekaboo Pal Dies. Let me show you. I thought this would be perfect because they can kind of sneak out. I think this will be perfect. To stick these images down, I'm gonna use the Kokuyo dot liner. If they end up falling off, I might have to use a stronger adhesive. I'm not sure, but hopefully I'll be all right. To start, I use the tape runner to lay out my flowers around all four edges of the cover. Although when I started sticking them down, I started to feel anxious and overthinking my decisions, because the black and white stamped images don't look like much when they're not colored in. Although I do consider Create This Book 2 an art journal where I can play, experiment, and entertain myself, I still wanted the cover to be a little more sophisticated and speak more to my overall style and aesthetic. What I ended up coming up with was a color scheme that's tried and true. I chose primary colors as in red, blue, and yellow, but obviously with green as well since they're flowers and flowers are part of nature. And nature is chock full of greens, so of course I was going to include it. However, I wanted the colors to be more dull, kind of desaturated, almost pastel, because I thought that would go better with my quote-unquote sophisticated look. So I'm just about done placing all of my flowers around the cover. And I'm going to be using my Copic markers since those are the alcohol markers I have. I bought these swatch cards on Amazon. They're Copic swatches. There are these little divisions in each box, and you color in each box with the color that you have, and you go from light to dark. So you color it all in, and then in the second and third box you color it again, and then in the third box you color it one last time to get the deepest color. I am so in love with these swatches for so many reasons. One of them is because I can see the different shades that I can get out of just one marker, and that's pretty impressive. Another reason is because it helps me keep track of what markers I actually have and which ones I can buy to fill in the gaps. But the most important reason has to be because I can visually see what marker I need. These cards were not expensive at all. They were super cheap, and I think they were like less than $10 or maybe definitely less than $15. I'm gonna run through the coloring pretty quickly here, but if you want, I tried my best to put the cap up on the screen next to the swatches. So if you like the color scheme and would find it helpful, feel free to pause it and copy the same color schemes or the same colors that I'm using. It can be a little frustrating when you're first learning to blend these markers in, but first of all, having the swatches really helps, but with trial and error, you'll get better at it. I kept it pretty simple though. I didn't really select any midtones. I just went with lighter colors and darker colors. And because I went over it enough times with the light colors, it kind of created some shades and midtones by itself. The last little bit that I wanted to do was the title where it says create this book, and also the paintbrush. I wanted to kind of use the same colors that I had on the flowers so that it would all come together. And here we have it, it's all done. I think it came out incredible. I'm so proud of myself, and it's so pretty. It's everything I would have ever wanted. Now whenever I pick up my book, I feel super motivated and I'm ready to work on more pages. With the cover done, I started on the first page, but I did have to kind of force it open because of the binding. These images initially didn't have a line at the bottom of their body, so they were kind of open-ended, you could say, but my scanning cut doesn't cut that way. It needs kind of like a solid image to cut around, so I did have to draw a line underneath, so I went ahead and trimmed that off with the scissors. And then I got to coloring. I decided because I wanted the first page to be a pop of color and a contrast to the cover, I would color them in Roy G. Biv order, except I would add pink and leave out indigo. The paper in Create This Book is really thin and flimsy, and I'm pretty sure it's just regular old copy paper. I think Moriah Elizabeth once mentioned that it's to keep the cost down, which I think is really sweet and thoughtful, and as a result, it doesn't work with Copic markers. So for the title, I also went with rainbow order, 2 of each color, but instead I used my color pencils. And then to make the colors really pop and blend out nicer, I used a Prisma color pencil blender. With the next page, the fill this empty space page, I threw caution to the wind. I didn't use my swatches, and I just kind of selected whatever colors I wanted. For this little bridge, it reminded me of the yellow brick road from Wizard of Oz. For the rest of it, I just kind of went with whatever I wanted. Different color greens, different color pinks, different color browns. And then for the sky, just different color blues. For the little towers, I kept them random also. I basically just looked at my markers and wondered about which ones looked nice, and I would just grab them. I like to go with the flow sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes for sure. This page went by pretty fast, but I did want to add some extra little pizzazz to it, so I went through my arts and crafts that I have. And I have these little bottles of like gold adhesive. They're called liquid pearls, and I went around and I spotted different lines, and then I went in with my jelly roll pen in glitter and used that on the stars. But because it also looked kind of plain to me, I added some sticker stars as well. I have to say, I like all of the pages I created in this video, but to be completely 100% transparent and honest, This candy lollipop one might totally be my favorite. Initially, these were going to be used on the title page and I was going to make them rainbow color, which I think would have been super fun. But because I ended up switching out the stamps that I used, I ended up moving the candy lollipops to this page. And as you can see, I used the Valentine's Day theme. Not Valentine's Day specifically, but definitely on the warmer reds and pinks and purples kind of color scheme, which speaks to my warm and fuzzy heart. And because I really wanted the candies to look like candies, I ended up making some glossy lines. I guess you could call them glossy lines. They're more like highlights with a white Jelly Roll pen. Because that wasn't enough, of course, I went in and created my own little dots of candy. So cute. I could have so used the candy lollipops for this tips and tricks page as well. I'm definitely going to be using them in later pages again. Okay, so I went over the trees, the first trees, with a gray marker just to kind of deepen the color a little bit. But then I used the other stamp trees, but I didn't color those in. I wanted to kind of leave them as is. I wanted to make my little spooky fiends green, and I did, but I also wanted to incorporate orange, partly because it's Halloween themed, but also because I used this spooky washi tape. And finally, I colored my title in the same colors that I colored in my little monsters, and went in with the blender pencil as well to brighten up the colors. Last layout for today is create a fresh start. I knew I wanted it to say today in the beginning date, and I wanted it to say finish for my goal, but I had no idea what to do because it also says decorate this page with things that remind you of new beginnings. I went through my stamps and I found these baby stamps with baby dinosaurs. And I thought it was so perfect because the letters I had stamped out for today and finish reminded me of those little baby blocks. And so I just went with it. There was really no rhyme or reason to the colors of the dinosaurs or the babies because the letters were kind of random themselves. So I just kept it random. Had fun with it. And that's it. This is my last page for today. Let's go ahead and do a review of all the pages I did. Starting with the cover. Beautiful, delicate, feminine, dainty. I love it. First page, just what I wanted. Pop of color, really bright, really exciting. It speaks to the fun to be had in this book. Second page, we filled this empty space with a beautiful little stained glass mural, if you will. Some nice stickers, some glittered stars, and some dimensional dots in gold. So gorgeous. Then we have a little note before you get started, which is a little sweet note with all of our delicious candies. Then we have our tips and tricks from Halloween. The tips and tricks page is full of tricks, you could kind of say, spooky Halloween inspiration. Very fun. And last but certainly not least, our create a fresh start with babies that remind us of new beginnings. And my beginning date is today, and my goal for this book is to finish it. Stay tuned. To come is create confetti, create a page of lyrics, create a comparison, create a merge, create integration, and create a puzzle. Can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Bye.